You are from Georgia. Yeah. So really, really far away. This is when we are talking about new kind of blockchains, I think, or new kind of consensus. We are really exploring new things. And Humanode, that has been launched, I think 3 days ago, was the launch in mainnet. 3 days ago. 2 days ago, so we are really, really they have come even with the release of the mainnet, so it's really, really, thank you, we appreciate really for you. You are invited to install a Humanode, so we are going to facilitate in, and I appreciate that, and this is a project that is really amazing, and what I are trying to achieve is the more decentralized possible architecture. So thank you very much, Dato, and happy to be with you.
Thank you. Hello. Crypto Plaza, glad to be here. Thank you, Jesus, for inviting us. Going to be talking, not shilling my project, sorry for that. I'm be talking specifically about crypto biometric Sybil resistance. What is that? And I'm asking you beforehand not to hit me in the face for things I got to say from the stage today. So with further ado, let's get into it. So, what are the premises here, right? So, as you all know, decentralized systems, they have existed for quite some time. Not like from the advent of Bitcoin itself, but actually from storage, exchange that existed in the 80s, first BitTorrent protocols and IPFS systems. Now, the peers in those systems try to be equal, you know. They try to have the same weight, they try to exchange data informations between one another, but they could only exist in a static form, right? As soon as you need some kind of consensus to actually update the protocol or move it forward, you need some kind of way to make sure that people and the nodes in the system are basically coming to a consensus on how to change it. And yeah, I mean, most of the people think that the advent of Bitcoin actually came with the creation of some kind of consensus mechanism, but that is not true. The advent of Bitcoin came by integrating a consensus mechanism on a hashing Sybil-resistant mechanism. That was the point when you could basically say that these entities have this amount of validation power in the network because of what? Now, before we move on to crypto biometric Sybil resistance, we gotta understand what is a Sybil attack. And I think most of the people in this room has faced a Sybil attack at least once in their lives. So imagine a network of equal peers which are trying to vote for something, or reputation system. Now, a Sybil attack is when you basically can create bots to vote in your favor. It's the basic thing, right? There's nothing stopping you from creating multiple accounts and voting for you. And this is how basically Bitcoin, utilizing mining equipment and hashing power to define the validation power in the Bitcoin ecosystem, came to life. Because you wouldn't be able to spawn multiple nodes to have multiple votes. You would just define that I have this amount of hashing power, and this is why I can rule the network. And in a sense, proof of work and proof of stake, it's not really a Sybil-resistant protocol, but rather it's Sybil acceptance. You basically give an ability to adversaries take over the network with money. In Bitcoin, it's either buying mining equipment and creating companies that run mining pools. And in proof of stake, it's basically taking more token, putting it on the network, and controlling it. And I would just like to ask, how many people in this room believe that the protocols that we are utilizing are actually decentralized? Just raise a hand. I see one hand. So, I mean, this is a very pragmatic room, you know, to other rooms that I've seen in the industry. You know, with regulation, with more money pouring into mining equipment and staking pools, it doesn't get more decentralized with that. Actually, it gets more centralized. We can look at easy statistics from the market, and it doesn't take very deep research to understand that this is not really a decentralized space. And I mean, with all the different governments, agencies, banks, regulations, layers that we have in the traditional system, I can easily argue that the traditional system at this point is much more decentralized than Web3. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Bitcoin mining pool concentration thing is, well, it's a well-known problem. I think that everyone knows. It's like there are 7, 8 major mining pools basically controlling the mining power and voting for what updates are shipped to the Bitcoin network itself. The other most obvious thing is the Nakamoto coefficient. So it's not something that many researchers or companies look at, but it's basically the amount of nodes in the system that you would need to either stop the function of the system or subvert it to your needs. And yeah, there are many networks out there, and of course they might have many peers in it, but because the weight of the peers is different, you don't really need many nodes in the system to change it. Erase the data, revert history, do anything you want, if you have the power to do it. Now, moving to the crypto biometrics. So, creating a system where basically you don't need any kind of material protection against bots, Creating a system that allows you to verify that indeed behind one node, there's one human. And I mean, for a long time, a decade, that wasn't even possible. Yeah, of course, there were many projects, prominent ones, like Proof of Humanity, like Upala guys, they were trying to make different schemes of how to prove that indeed behind some public address there's a real human being. And one of the things that happened to explode in the recent decade is the precision of biometrics and how the machine learning algorithms can understand through facial recognition that you're a living and unique human being. So a crypto biometric Sybil defense, it's not proof of work, doesn't require mining. No proof of stake, doesn't require staking at all. All you have to do is basically go through a facial scan and prove once in a while that you're a unique human being. Thus, it's a combination of proof of uniqueness and proof of existence. And as the privacy is a very important thing, in our industry, and I mean, people wouldn't really be okay with sharing their biometric data. One of the major points in this is the crypto part. So you have to make the biometrics private. When they leave your phone and when they go to a trusted execution environment, you have to make sure that it doesn't fall in the hands of some adversary or some malicious actors that might try to steal it. To be a validator in a crypto biometric network, you basically only have to verify that you're a human being, and that's it. Thus, you can create an ecosystem where nodes are equal in terms of validation power. And returning to the Satoshi Nakamoto coefficient, for example, if you have 1,000 nodes that have equal weight, they have equal power just because they're human beings, you can get systems that are much more decentralized than any proof of work or proof of stake system exists. Just because the system will not allow you to amass more power than any other peer in the network. Yeah, one human, one node, one vote, and all peers are equal in it. To understand how the biometric side of the things works, you gotta deep into understanding the machine AI modules behind it. One is called uniqueness check, the other called liveness check. Well, actually it's called search and matching operations, but whatever. So the possibility with the technology that you have right now for an error when you're going through biometric verification is 1 in 125 million tries to biometrically verify yourself. Now, for 8 billion people living on this planet, that precision is not enough. You will have a high rate of error. But if you're working with 1,000, 10,000 validators, even right now, creating pure crypto biometric networks is already possible. The same goes for liveness checks. So basically, uniqueness checks are responsible to comparing yourself to yourself. Like the network knows that you have been verified here and that you were the same person that verified like in a month or some other like, time after the verification. Liveness checks just make sure that you are not a mask, not a statue, not a deep fake, that you're not an injected feed, and many, many other things. And here we can actually look at how the precision grew over the last decade or so. So on this graph, you can see that it wouldn't be even possible to do this 3 years ago because the precision of biometric matching was just not there. With every 2 years or so, the precision grows tenfold. So like the guys in the biometric industries that we work with, and us of course, we predict that there's going to be a tenfold precision growth every 2.5 years or so. And you can notice that the graph is logarithmic on the left side, but the growth is still parabolic. And well, there's a bear market on the crypto market right now, but biometric market is just exploding non-stop. They're onboarding millions of users every day because the biometric technology, well, we have Apple IDs and like Google IDs in our phones, but those are the biometrics that are only stored like in our device. Now having like biometrics that connect with the storage and are like privately computed is a completely entire game and a completely entire different computation that you have to run. Same goes for liveness. The precision was a funny thing 5 to 7 years ago. Right now, it's skyrocketing as is. So yeah, with that in mind, I'll be finishing up this little presentation. Thank you very much for your time. And I mean, if you have any questions, please, I'll be there somewhere around you.
Only one question. How can we be a node in Humanode right now? You are in mainnet, so you have to install something in your computer. You have to have it, I don't know, alive, or you have to uptime. Only to know that because you are in a...
Yeah, you can just go to the website, download the app, and become a Humanode. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much.